It has been a process for over 2 years now, but new social studies standards have been approved for South Dakota K through 12 classrooms.
Today was the last of 4 public hearings regarding the new standards, concluding with a vote by the South Dakota Board of Education Standards at the end. KELOLAND's Carter Schmidt joins us live from Pierre with what people on both sides have to say. Carter?
The board approved in a 5-2 vote to approve the new social studies standards, and they'll be implemented over the next 2 years and in the classroom in 2025. It was a full day of testimony for and against the proposed standards, but the difference this go-around includes hearing opinions from members of the Board of Education for the first time regarding the proposed social studies standards. Board President Terry Nebelsick came out against the proposed standards and commented on how they were developed. He predicts the new standards will have, quote, unintended consequences.
This whole government interference could lead more students and their parents to hate social studies rather than trying to engage. I am personally totally offended by the testimony of legislators who showed disrespect for public school teachers, administrators, and board members. We are not a bunch of union workers in a non-union state. Your comments are mean-spirited and totally unfounded by the work that we do.
Nebelsick suggested bringing back the original 2021 standards and holding more discussions for those. Steve Willard says this process is not what he signed up for and that it's become too divisive.
The first proposed standards that had 2 of my Belle Fourche teachers on the standards, and then they were pulled. Those 2 teachers came to me and said, "What happened? We were on that committee. We put a lot of time into that committee. Why aren't our voices going to be heard?" I didn't have an answer.
Nebelsick and Willard were the only 2 no votes. Phyllis Heineman voted yes. She praised the passion on both sides and says the change is exciting.
We've got great educators on both sides. We've got great experts on both sides. So I'm hopeful that when the final outcome, and I'm going to be honest, I'll be voting for it, that we do have these standards, that they take all this energy and channel it into making these standards work.
Rich Meyer also voted in favor and says he's been appreciative of everyone who's provided public comment.
I'm hoping that these new standards are in a direction that we can all live with and work on, and that there will be a coming together of everybody to make them really work.
Stephen Perkins brought up proficiency rates in South Dakota schools and says, quote, we've got to do better.
I'm not saying that you teachers are wrong or anything else, but I'm just saying there is a different way to look at things, and sometimes we get tunnel vision.
And of course, they had that public comment before the board spoke on their opinions and voted today. And among those in opposition was T Legacy Elementary Principal Samantha Walder. I spoke with her afterward to get a reaction.
I do have concerns that the specificity and the bulk of standards that are included here is going to undermine some of that local control that our local school boards are currently
During that discussion, there were also questions about how the new standards would be implemented, to which Secretary of Education Joe Graves answered by saying it would be 2-year implementation, including some professional development type sessions, and then of course consulting teachers about what books to choose, and they've consulted a number of publishers for that as well. Reporting live in Pierre, Carter Schmidt, KELOLAND News.
All right, thanks a lot, Carter.